Have you ever believed that wealth is only for the lucky, the ones born in the right place, who know the right people, and work in the right industry? Forget all of that. This video is not for those looking for ease. It's for those willing to radically change their habits, mindset, and environment. There are no quick tricks, no magical shortcuts, only 7 core principles, ruthless, relentless, and raw, taken one step at a time, to move you from survival to ownership. And if you're not brave enough to face the truth, stop this video now. But if you are ready, because what comes next will confront you with the most unfiltered version of yourself, through 7 brutal truths, broken down across 10 unflinching lenses, capable of transforming your financial life forever. Habit 1. Track your finances. Financial freedom is not for the lazy. People who preach, just go with the flow, the money will come, are hypnotizing themselves with failure. Wealth doesn't come from hope, it starts with accounting. No one reaches financial freedom by avoiding the numbers. Every day you ignore your finances is a day you declare blindness over your future. Ask yourself this: how can you dream of financial freedom if you're afraid to look at your bank balance? Money mastery doesn't come from imagination. It starts with spreadsheets. You want financial freedom, but can't even open an Excel file? That's not a harsh judgment, it's reality. If you ran a business with no profit-loss tracking, you'd be reckless. So why are you running your life like a bankrupt company hoping for a bailout? Logging expenses, tallying income, reviewing debt. This isn't nerdy, it's necessary. If you can't do this, don't talk about wanting to be rich. You're fantasizing, not building. Research shows people who track their finances regularly are over 70% more likely to improve them. Not because it's magical, but because awareness creates action. Knowing where you stand is your internal GPS for wealth. Stop avoiding the truth. Face your reality. The moment you do, you reclaim control. Start treating your personal finances like the empire you're building. Because if you don't manage your money, it will manage you. Habit 2. Spend for growth. Emotional spending is a trap that keeps you broke. Here's the brutal truth. Entertainment spending has destroyed more financial futures than economic crises. Most people aren't broke because of the economy. They're broke because of Friday nights and dopamine scrolls. You don't go broke from one big mistake. You go broke from 1,000 treat-yourself moments that lead nowhere. Every impulsive tap on that buy now button is trading long-term freedom for short-term numbness. There's a new kind of poverty in the modern world. Mental poverty masked by materialism. People drop $1,000 on the latest phone but hesitate at a $50 course that could triple their income. They fund weekend trips but won't invest in building high-income skills. The problem isn't the money, the problem is what you prioritize. Growth spending multiplies. Pleasure spending evaporates. The wealthy choose seeds, they don't eat them. It sounds simple. For every dollar spent on pleasure, spend 1 on personal growth. But hardly anyone does it. Why? Because Netflix feels better than books, shopping feels easier than facing your fears. But here's the line in the sand. Those who grow are those who dare to spend where it feels uncomfortable. Those who stay broke spend where it feels good. In a world addicted to comfort, growth is rebellion. And every dollar is a vote. You're either funding your escape or feeding your excuses. Habit 3. Value time. Only the idle think money is worth more than time. There's a kind of stupidity disguised as frugality. Scrubbing floors, fixing light bulbs, running errands to save a few bucks. But every hour spent on low-value tasks is costing you hundreds you could be earning elsewhere. This isn't frugal, it's foolish. Anyone trading time for pennies is selling their life wholesale. Time doesn't regenerate, money does. Wealthy people don't have more time. They just use it better. They don't ask, how do I save money? They ask, is this the best use of my time? That's why they outsource $10 tasks to focus on $10,000 ideas. They don't boast about doing everything themselves. They build systems, not to-do lists. Hustling doesn't make you rich, leverage does. And leverage starts with letting go of the small. You can have a brilliant strategy, but if your day is consumed by petty errands, you'll stay stuck. Don't be the CEO who still takes out the trash. Don't chase sales for toothpaste while letting your dreams rot. You're not poor because you lack opportunity. You're poor because you spend your prime hours chasing crumbs. Every minute is either an investment or a distraction. And those who treat time as optional are always renting their life to someone else. Habit 4. Radical responsibility. Stop whining. Start owning your life. It's not the economy. It's not inflation. It's not your parents. It's you. You cast your vote for poverty every time you ignore your finances, delay action, or stay silent when growth demands change. The real enemy isn't out there. It's the face in the mirror. Blame is the most expensive lie you've ever told yourself. And every time you use it, you give away power. Don't like where you are? Change it. You're not a tree. You can move. But most people stay rooted in misery, pretending it's noble to suffer. Responsibility isn't a burden. It's a weapon, a sword that slices through excuses and forges a new path. The moment you say, "This is my fault," is the moment your life starts to turn. You're not stuck because of circumstance. You're stuck because you haven't decided to move. People don't lack options. They lack ownership. Every Uber Eats order while complaining about bills. Every late night scroll while avoiding new skills. That's not misfortune. That's a choice. The hard truth? You are the common denominator in all your results. Until you own that, nothing changes. But once you do, everything can. Habit 5. Words shape reality. If you don't speak wealth, you will live in poverty. You're programming your mind every single day by the way you speak. I can't afford it. I was born poor. Wealth isn't for people like me. These statements sound harmless, but they are mental malware infecting your financial operating system. The way you talk about money becomes the way you behave with money. And if your vocabulary is that of a loser, don't expect your mind to operate like a winner. Words aren't sounds. They're commands to your subconscious. And every careless sentence is a seed you're planting in the soil of your future. People with the right financial mindset never say, "I can't afford that." They ask, "How can I afford it?" The difference is night and day. One closes the door, the other kicks it open. Language is a code. You want a new life? Start speaking a new one. Instead of saying, "I'm broke," say, "I'm building wealth." Instead of "I'm bad with money," say, "I'm learning to master it." This isn't delusion, it's direction. You don't speak like you're rich because you're lying. You speak it because you're leading. Research from Carnegie Mellon shows that positive self-talk improves decision-making under pressure. Translation: how you talk to yourself isn't fluff, it's neuroscience. But most people speak to themselves like a bitter roommate, always judging, doubting, tearing them down. So if your inner voice sounds like someone who'd never invest in you, maybe it's time to evict it. Speak like the millionaire in progress you are. Use language that points forward, not backward. Your brain listens, your bank account follows, and your future transforms one sentence at a time. Habit 6. Your environment is your destiny. Cut out those who limit your growth. Want to know why you're not rich yet? Look around. If you spend time with 5 people who constantly complain about being broke, you will become the 6th. This isn't superstition, it's influence. Mindsets are contagious. Poverty isn't just a condition, it's a culture. Your conversations set your expectations. If your circle normalizes struggle, mock ambition, and treat investing like a scam, you will eventually conform. And don't delude yourself thinking you're immune. No one escapes the gravitational pull of a mediocre environment. Friends, colleagues, even family, if they pull you down, they're not your support system. They're your ceiling. That may sting, but it's necessary truth. Some people you must love from a distance because proximity to their fear, laziness, or small thinking is quietly poisoning your trajectory. Financial freedom doesn't require you to be rude, but it does require you to be selective. Success isn't born from blending in. It's born from choosing who you give your energy, time, and mind to. Try this test. When was the last time you had a 1-hour conversation about investing, saving, or building wealth? If you can't remember, you're living in a fog of financial noise. Start choosing people who budget instead of binge, who read instead of scroll, who dream instead of gossip. Every relationship in your life is doing one of 2 things: lifting you or limiting you. And if your current circle makes you feel comfortable, then it's probably killing your growth. Because real growth always feels uncomfortable. And the right people won't let you settle, they'll push you further. Habit 7. Invest in smarter people. Going solo keeps you stuck at the bottom. Admitting someone else is smarter than you doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Yet most people take the long, painful road of proving themselves by doing everything solo. Why waste 5 years fumbling alone when you could pay to learn the right path in 5 weeks? Self-study isn't the problem. Isolation is. Successful people buy time, they buy perspective, they buy access. They pay for proximity to people who are ahead. Because proximity compresses decades into days, if you're humble enough to learn. When you're around high performers, you don't just learn tactics, you absorb new standards. You see how they think, how they assess risk, how they move, and that can't be found in a textbook. The closer you are to excellence, the more it rubs off. If you insist on being the smartest person in every room, you're already in the wrong room. And you'll stay stuck in that room, forever circling ideas that never stretch you. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in challenge. Here's the bitter truth. Most broke people don't lack money. They lack the humility to pay for wisdom. They want results without proximity. They want transformation without mentorship. They want to win without leaving their peer group of delusion. Investing in smarter people is the fastest way to elevate your mind, your decisions, and your financial trajectory. It doesn't just improve your knowledge, it recalibrates your identity. Because your thinking doesn't expand in silence, it expands in the presence of people who make you feel like a beginner again. And that's exactly where breakthroughs are born. Break the myth, "I'm not a business person." The phrase, "I'm not a business person," is one of the most dangerous excuses you've ever told yourself. You don't need to run a company to understand this. You are already managing a business called your life. If you can't track cash flow, assess return on time, or budget energy like capital, then your life business is quietly collapsing. No one is born a CEO, but everyone is forced to become one if they want control. If you're not managing your life like an enterprise, you're running it like a charity, one that's bleeding resources without strategy. Imagine a company that spends more than it earns, refuses to invest in skill development, has no growth plan, and reacts to problems instead of preparing for them. That company fails. So will your life if you treat it the same. Every financial decision is a balance sheet. Every job move is capital allocation. Every hour wasted is a board meeting ignored. You don't need to know accounting, but you must think like someone who's building value, because your life is either compounding or decaying, and that's not abstract. That's math. Don't wait until you're broke, burned out, or buried in debt to start managing. Winners don't react, they operate. They plan their money, they invest in learning, they treat time like gold, and they audit their habits like financial statements. So ask yourself, are you the CEO of your life? Or just an underpaid intern coasting through it? You may not be a founder, but you are the decision maker. You sign off on every habit, every impulse, every pattern. Your signature is already on your future. The only question is, are you proud of what you've approved? Habits aren't just actions, they're identity. You don't spend money randomly, you spend it in alignment with who you believe you are. Every financial habit you repeat is a quiet declaration of self-worth. Someone who doesn't track expenses isn't just careless, they've convinced themselves they're not important enough to monitor. They don't believe they deserve clarity, order, or control. Your financial behavior mirrors your self-image. Failing to manage your money isn't just financial neglect, it's self-neglect. You're not just ignoring your budget, you're ignoring yourself. Not investing in learning, skills, or growth isn't always about money. It's about believing you don't deserve an upgraded version of you. That's the identity of limitation. Someone who spends $100 on a dinner but hesitates over a $20 course doesn't lack logic. They lack belief in their future self. When you change your spending habits, you don't just change your bank balance, you reprogram who you are. You shift from a consumer of life to a builder of legacy. That shift changes everything. You're not poor because you earn too little. You're poor because your habits quietly sabotage your future every day. Tapping buy when stressed, avoiding your bank app, procrastinating on learning new skills. These are the invisible ballots you cast for a stagnant life. Wealth isn't built on motivation, it's built on micro decisions. Want to become someone who's financially powerful? Start by behaving like one, not in public, but in private. when no one is watching. That's where real wealth habits are born. That's where financial identity is forged. Action or illusion? Choose your side. This video isn't motivation. It's a slap, a final warning. You might feel inspired right now, but if tomorrow you're still impulse spending, still avoiding your bank app, still hanging out with people afraid to dream, then today's inspiration was just a sugar-coated sedative. The world doesn't reward those who understand. It rewards those who change. And change doesn't begin with grand plans. It begins with one uncomfortable decision, made today. Growth doesn't feel good, but neither does staying broke. Pick your pain. One leads to power, the other leads to repetition. Want financial freedom? Log your finances tonight. Want growth? Unfollow negativity and follow someone smarter. Want breakthrough? Trade 1 hour of Netflix for 1 hour learning a new income skill. You don't need to overhaul your life, you need to act 1% better today, and again tomorrow. Small, repeatable action is the most underrated force on the planet. The issue was never lack of motivation. The issue was waiting for a miracle, when in truth, you've always been the miracle waiting to wake up. So choose. Keep looping inside a cycle of liabilities, blame, and delay, or stand up and own your future. No one else can open your spreadsheet. No one else can break your habits. No one else can step into discomfort for you. But if you do, if you move even 1 inch, your entire life will begin to shift. Wealth doesn't come to the lucky, it comes to the relentless. Those who act before they feel ready. So don't just watch this, don't just nod. Begin, right now. No one is born ready for wealth, but anyone can rewrite their destiny if they have the courage to face this truth. You are the problem, and you are the solution. There's no space here for victims, excuses, or polite procrastination. You now know exactly what to do. Track your finances, spend strategically, value time, own your choices, command your words, change your environment, and invest in greatness. This is not the time to consume more content. This is the time to act. Your finances will not rescue you. Your mindset will not evolve on autopilot, but you can rise, rebuild, and reclaim control. One habit, one sentence, one move. Start where you are and don't stop. Ever.